shine.
Hey guys, name is I. Welcome to a brand new podcast show that I am starting to host. So this is the League of Geeks, where the host is addicted to Funko Pops. My name is Enigma's Light, and welcome, yes, to the League of Geeks. Now this is a kind of solo podcast kind of thing, and I am gonna kind of edit it. You guys will see how it looks in the video. But yeah, so this is a thing that I've been wanting to do. As I said before, let me take these glasses off so they're not really distracting. You can probably hear the rain right now. I'm sorry, it's like 10 o'clock right now and it's pouring outside. Anyway, so as I said, I wanted to do some stuff like this, some new projects, and I had the podcast in mind, and I actually came up with this name. It was between League Geeks, Comic Cast, and the I think it's the Lantern Knights, I believe. It was 5 names, and those are the 3 that went, but I decided on League of Geeks. Anyway, so let's get right into this. So, since this is a new podcast, I just want to welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me today. I know this is probably going to be a long one. I'm recording from my web camera because I'm kind of I have an idea of how I want to edit this kind of podcast. Now this doesn't mean that when I do podcasts I won't have guests. I will have guests. It's just for right now I do want to do some solo podcasts. That way, if I have something on mind that I can't really cover and I want to cover it in a podcast and give more like my opinions on, then I can do that. So let's get right into the first question now. I do have some questions prepared today from 2015. It's just basically I'm kind of going back to 2015 and explaining the controversial things that have happened last year, and it's basically just a top 5 list and me answering some questions that probably are left unanswered for some people. So let's get right into this. So the first question is that I wrote down here: is DC trying to compete with Marvel movies? And I wrote that wrong. So as you guys know, DC did release, I think, a movie lineup that they have planned for the next, I think, 5 or 6 years. A couple of them are being Green Lantern movie, Cyborg movie, and we know Justice League 1, Justice League Part 2, which are back-to-back year movies. Anyway, so people thought that DC is trying to compete with Marvel, and that's understandable because, as we know, Batman v Superman is going to have a lot of Justice League characters in that movie. So far, we know we're going to get Batman, Superman from the title. We're going to get Wonder Woman. We're going to get the Flash. We're going to get the Cyborg. We're going to get Aquaman. But there's still a 7th Justice League member that has not been announced yet. It's probably Green Lantern, but I don't think they'll show him in the movie, which I'm kind of wondering how or how to roll. There is, if you go on the IMDb website, someone listed as a pilot operator. I forget what it is. And when I first saw that, I was thinking Hal Jordan, but who knows, Anyway, so apparently, yeah, DC is trying to compete with Marvel. Now, I don't think that. I think DC really is, they're really, how would I say this? They're really optimistic about their movies. Like, they feel confident enough to let people go see Batman v Superman a week early. And they feel really confident to do that, then they're basically trying to do a new way to show comic book movies, and they're basically going to make a new genre of comic book movies, I should say, and they want to show it in their own way. They don't want to take the Marvel route. They want to take their route. So they now people are kind of worried that Batman v Superman is going to have a lot of a lot of crammed characters in there, but they are confirmed as just small cameos. Like Aquaman will probably not even have probably only have a 3-minute scene in the movie. He won't have that much in the story. Which I guess is okay. But it's not going to be very crammed characters. So far we do know we are still getting Doomsday and Lex Luthor. That is another question. That is another thing I should bring up. The Batman v Superman trailer. I did not think they showed too much. I thought it was perfect. Even though, yes, they did show Doomsday, and I would love to see that in the theater. I still think it was the right choice for them. Zack Snyder did do an interview where he was talking about how he had a fight for it to be released. He had a fight to release Doomsday in the trailer. Like, he literally had to sit down and argue with the Warner Brother conference to let them show Doomsday. And the reason he wanted to do it was literally because he didn't want the stuff to get leaked. he didn't say that words exactly, but you can just tell by the way of how he explained it that he didn't want it to be leaked, and he wanted to show it. He wanted to show it early, so people wouldn't get spoiled by that experience, and they'll be like awaiting for that battle. Some people are saying that, or I know some people are confused because they do know that Doomsday is the one who killed Superman. And I think Superman's gonna die in this movie. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think Doomsday is just there to like fight the Trinity. I think he might have a bigger role in the upcoming movies. Now Zack Snyder did tease Brainiac in that same interview I just mentioned. And yeah, but anyway, back to the topic. I don't think DC is trying to compete with Marvel movies. I think they just want to take their own route, and I think we should give them a chance. I'm personally giving them a chance. I first thought, okay, that's a lot of characters. How are they gonna all cram that in there? But personally, I think they know what they're doing with this. They've learned from their mistakes. For example, Green Lantern, and they're gonna take those roots from the Dark Knight trilogy. They're gonna take the roots from the old Batman movies, from the Superman movies. And they've learned their mistakes. So I think DC is ready, and they're ready to handle this their own way. And as we've seen from the Batman Superman clips, it looks phenomenal, and I cannot wait for this movie. So let's get to the next question, shall we? I know that one was kind of short. So the fourth question: was Jim Gordon becoming Batman bad for DC? Now, if you guys don't know, Bruce Wayne had died last year in the comics, or quote unquote died. But he is found alive, and Joker died with him. It was part of the Endgame storyline. Jim Gordon became Batman he's been Batman I think since summer, or since Convergence came out. And so far I've actually been keeping up with some of the stories, and they're actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I think Jim Gordon is kind of a weird way to show Batman. The reason they did it was because of the Gotham TV show, how they wanted to make Jim Gordon the hero, and apparently he's going to stay that way in the comics for a long time, so we probably won't get to see Bruce Wayne in the Batsuit for a while. However, I do think the Jim Gordon storylines are pretty good so far. For example, if you guys go to the YouTuber Comic Historian, I recommend him a lot for people who don't have the money for comics. He reads a lot. He kind of does like comic book. He reads comic book storylines and arcs and stuff, and he does it really good. He's kind of like, it's basically like storytelling, and he does it really good. And I've seen some of the stories that Jim Gordon has had, and they're actually pretty good. I think I read about, or saw this one story about how he and Superman were fighting to keep the sun out of these kind of like alien or underground people. They're trying to keep the sun away from them because it could be used as a weapon to destroy, I think, both Gotham and Metropolis. And they didn't really work out that way. They really like butted heads a lot. And even the Justice League actually went to Wayne Manor and Wonder Woman had put the golden lasso on Bruce Wayne, and he does not recall anything from Batman, but he does from time to time remember the martial arts and stuff. But I think Jim Gordon right now is good for DC. Now I'm not saying that's a good thing, but yeah, I think some of the storylines he has is really good. I actually have one back there if you can see it. It's kind of blurry. It's a right under the Batman Dark Knight Master Race comic book cover. If you guys recognize that one, it's right under Robin. Actually, I should be more specific. Right under Robin, and right above Red Hood. But yeah, so I do think it's not a good movie. Like, I don't really want to see Bruce Wayne back. I'm starting to read a little bit more comics, but who knows, only time could tell. Bruce Wayne will come back eventually, they have confirmed that, but Jim Gordon right now is going to stay as the Batman. But personally, I don't think it's bad. Some of the stories, again, they're pretty good. They're pretty readable. And I'm actually liking the way DC's taking it. I'm saying they're confident in their stuff. So let's try rolling. I mean, Batman has been around for 75 years, and Azrael was Batman at once. Imagine how people flipped out. Like, there wasn't even internet back then, and imagine how much people flipped out when they found out that Azrael was gonna be Batman. So that's about it. So let's get right into this third question here. We have probably gonna be a short podcast. Was the Star Wars Force Awakens movie disappointing? That is actually a question people ask, and to be honest with you, I enjoyed the movie. I went there with my cousin. We went to go see it Saturday. Saturday it came out. It's getting kind of heavy. Watch. You hear that, huh? Anyway, but Star Wars The Force Awakens was a fantastic movie, and I thought it was beautiful. Just the CGI and the technology we have today. That was actually one of the things I was looking forward to, how today's technology would make the Star Wars movie a lot, fascinating. One thing I don't like with a movie is, with movies, is they use CGI and special effects to look good. Star Wars was not that movie. Star Wars used real sets, real explosions. Because I did see some behind the scenes. It's everything, like most of the stuff wasn't even like special effects. Well, some of the stuff, yeah, I guess most of the stuff was special effects, but most of some of the time, it wasn't, and it's pretty cool. Like they like it was like attention to detail, and the movie was just visually beautiful, and it was better than the prequels. The prequels actually hurt in my eyes. I had to stop. Well, I had to take breaks when I was watching the prequels because it just hurt in my eyes. So anyway, Star Wars: The Force Awakens for a storyline. I actually did my review. I have to upload that pretty soon. I have to upload that. Should be uploaded before I upload this podcast, but Star Wars: The Force Awakens was one of my favorite movies of 2015, and was one of the most anticipated movies of 2015. I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to say my review on it because I want to save it for the review. But overall, I thought the story was fantastic. I didn't have any complaints. A lot of people referencing it to A New Hope, and they're calling it A New Hope 2.0, which I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but New Hope, I did enjoy New Hope, and I did enjoy The Force Awakens. Still, my second favorite movie is The Empire Strikes Back. That is just a phenomenal movie. My favorite lightsaber fight, however, is the one in Returns of the Jedi, where Luke Skywalker fights Darth Vader. That music is just phenomenal. Anyway, yeah, Force Awakens, I believe, was not disappointing. It was actually a pretty decent movie, and most hardcore Star Wars fans actually said it was decent. I know a lot, I mean a lot of Star Wars fans, who are just die hard. Like for me with DC, I'm not even I don't consider myself like a huge fan of Star Wars. I consider myself a fan. I don't really know much about it. I do know a little bit about the lore, but I don't know like a lot to say like, oh, I'm this big fanatic. But I do enjoy Star Wars, and and they actually said it was pretty good for them. So I believe it was good from my point of view as a new Star Wars fan, and I enjoyed it. So I don't think it was disappointing. I think it was a really good comeback in a Star Wars film, and I cannot wait for episode 8. It's probably going to be much darker, and we are getting a new Star Wars movie this year called Star Wars Rogue One, about the fighter squadron, and it's going to take place during I think it takes place during the 4th and 5th movie, or the original first and second movie. So yeah, however you want to address that. So let's get into this. A couple last questions here. Only did 5. Was Batman Arkham Knight bad? Now that may sound like a simple question, but to some people, not really. So as you guys know, the new Batman Arkham Knight, I have my statue right here, game came out back in June, and I think was it June? I think it was June, and everyone was hyped for it. I was hyped. I was ready for Batman. At the time, I was losing interest in Batman. I was hoping it would spike my interest a little bit more, because I was really losing interest. I started getting more into the Flash, and that's when I started to like research a lot about him. And then when Batman came out, the Batman Arkham Knight came out, I got hooked again, and I fell back, like I like went back into my childhood and realized like I'm a Batman fan by heart. But Flash t-shirt. But now I'm going to explain both sides of the story to why people think Batman Arkham Knight is bad and why I think it's not bad. Batman Arkham Knight to some people was disappointing. Some of the reasons were the Arkham Knight reveal. Spoiler warnings now. You should have played Arkham Knight, or at least in a walkthrough of it. So yeah, let's just okay. So Arkham Knight was Jason Todd, and that really annoyed some people. Now that's understandable. Reason being is because a lot of people, it was really, they were throwing red herrings. Quoting that from somebody. Basically, you knew it was Jason the entire time. I knew it was Jason from I think the first sentence Arkham Knight has in the game is "Time to die, old man," and I was like, that's Jason Todd. Because if you go back and read the comics like Batman Hush or Under the Red Hood, or even see the Under the Red Hood movie, some of the things that Jason Todd uses in taunts Batman is he calls him old man. You're dying out, you're worthless, you're losing your old tricks, and that's basically what he said. Some people got spoiled by playing the Red Hood DLC first, Actually, I played my DLC. I played my Harley Quinn DLC, since I knew it was a prequel, and then I played the Arkham Knight storyline. I didn't play the Red Hood storyline because I didn't know if it was a prequel or not. So I'm not gonna play it. I'm just gonna play Harley Quinn first, and then the storyline of Arkham Knight, finish it, and then play Red Hood. And thank God I did it. Thank God I did because I would have been sold. And some people did get spoiled by the Red Hood DLC, so that was pretty that sucked. But yeah, most of the reason why is because Arkham Knight is just there wasn't. I mean, it's Arkham Knight. Yeah, the Arkham Knight reveal was disappointing, to be honest. I see now as okay, it was, we all knew it had to be Jason Todd. Um, I just knew it had to be. I knew from heart it had to be Jason Todd. It couldn't be anyone else. And some people didn't. I was the one who believed. No, they had 3 years to make this game, and I know they have to. They have to like they had to have enough time to develop this character, and they had to know where they were going with this. And at first, I was like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me! It's Jason Todd," and I like that doesn't make any sense why it was Jason Todd. And then I saw a different point of view. My little brother played Arkham Knight, and he didn't know Jason Todd. He didn't know who Jason Todd was, and he had no idea the Arkham Knight was Jason Todd. And I saw like, wait, and I personally thought it was Hush until the side mission came up, which I really preferred they would have saved for the end, because as soon as I had full hope that Arkham Knight was the Hush, and as soon as that side mission came up and I found that it was Hush, I immediately was pissed because I knew that it was Jason Todd when that side mission popped up. I was pissed. But my little brother played it and he didn't know who Jason Todd was, so he was like, "It's Jason Todd?" Like, well, I didn't know that. I thought he was dead. And I realized that Rocksteady had to make this game for both comic book fans and the ones who aren't comic book fans. For example, most of my friends who played Arkham Knight don't even know a thing about Batman, and they just know who Batman and the Joker are. That's basically their basic knowledge. And they have realized they had to make this game both understandable for non-comic book readers and comic book readers. Some people like to use the defense that this game was made for comic book fans and comic book fans only. No, it's made for video gamers. If it was made for comic book fans, I don't know, but I don't know how to defend that point. I shouldn't even brought it up. Anyway, they made it for video game fans, because it's a video game. It's not a comic book. If it was a comic book, okay, it would have been understandable, because a lot of people who play video games don't read comic. Okay, let me rephrase that. A lot of people who play who play comic book video games that I know don't read comics at all, and they don't know a single thing about comics. All they know is the basic knowledge: who Batman is and how his parents died, who Superman is and how his planet blew up, who Spider-Man is and how he got bit by a spider. All that basic knowledge. Green Lantern has a ring. Joker is just plain crazy. Harley Quinn is the Joker's girlfriend. So I had to realize, they didn't just make this game for comic book fans. They made it for video gamers too. And if it was Hush, people wouldn't know who Hush was, because most of the people that I know who aren't comic book fans and don't give a damn about comics played Arkham Knight, and they haven't even played the sequels or the prequels yet. Now I know that's on them, that they probably knew it was a sequel, and they probably just wanted to play it and didn't want to play the other games. I did have friends come up to me, Arkham Knight, just let me know the story, because I never got to play the games, and I did explain the story to them. I explained how Arkham City, Joker died, and Arkham Origins, or Arkham Asylum, it was the beginning, and Arkham Origins is just a prequel. One thing I actually don't like about Arkham Origins, I should bring up, it has nothing to do with the actual storylines. It doesn't even set up anything to like the Arkham Asylum. Like, prequels are usually meant to set up or to show how everything set it up, and it didn't really set up anything. It just was I consider it as another Batman game. I don't consider it as a Batman Arkham game. I consider it as another Batman game. Now, that doesn't mean Batman Arkham Origins was the most horrible Batman game there is. It is actually pretty decent. I enjoyed it. The ending, okay, I hated it, but because it wasn't the ending just wasn't satisfying. I felt like that I need an ending. I need an actual ending. And I didn't like it. Now another thing people didn't like about Arkham Knight was the boss fights, and I'm one of those people who didn't enjoy the boss fights at all. Um, Reason being, most of them needed the Batmobile. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I was expecting a I thought I thought I had an Arkham Knight poster there. I don't. I was expecting a hand-to-hand fight between the Arkham Knight and Batman, and what did we end up getting? A tank battle. A tank battle. We got a 15-minute tank battle. That takes me now not even 5 minutes to beat, because it's that easy. Like, just I know what to upgrade. And amount, if you upgrade the right amount of things on the Batmobile, you can beat the Arkham Knight in under 5 minutes. Under 5. If you upgrade the when you get the upgrades from Lucius Fox, not talking about the Wayne Tech upgrades. I'm talking about the upgrades for when Lucius Fox gives you the option before you blow up the Batmobile. You upgrade the weapon system to 4. And then you upgrade the EMP, and then no. You upgrade the EMP first. Then you upgrade your weapons program or weapon system. Then you upgrade your hacking device. You want that hacking device. You don't want to keep upgrading the weapons. The weapon arsenal, how it gives you that full circle. You upgrade your EMP, and you upgrade your you upgrade your hacking, and then you keep upgrading your Batmobile's armor and your booster, or you just basically upgrade the shit out of your Batmobile. I went back for my maybe 6th playthrough, and I realized that I didn't even have to update my Batsuit. All I had to do was update my Batmobile, and I beat the game on hard. That says something. You can beat the Arkham. If you can beat a character in under 5 minutes, that shows no effort whatsoever in their boss fights. And I was really disappointed by the boss fights. Arkham Asylum, their boss fights were amazing. One simple reason: they were all unique. Poison Ivy, you had to dodge her and you had to fight her minions off, which was one of the coolest boss fights I've ever did when I was a kid. Because Batman Arkham Asylum was my first Batman game, I believe. No, it wasn't my first Batman game. It was my first it was the first comic book series game that I got into. Sorry about that. It was the first big comic book game that I got into. And all these boss fights, like Scarecrow, it was basically hide and seek between your boss. And what's else? The Bane fights were also unique, and the Joker fight was also unique. And then Arkham City came. Arkham City, I don't believe it had that many boss fights. I think it only had a couple. Let me see. I think you only had a couple. I think you only had the Solomon Grundy boss fight, and then you had the but still, Arkham City still had unique boss fights, and probably the best boss fight I've ever been in the game. And I'm not just saying this because I like Batman, but the best boss fight I've ever played in the game was the Mr. Freeze boss battle. Reason being, it was the most unique thing ever. Mr. Freeze, he kind of knew what you were gonna do. Like, you couldn't do the same move twice. So that was one of the coolest boss fights I've ever fought, and it was just amazing. But Arkham Knight is just all tank battle. It is just all tank battle. Like, I hated the Batmobile. I hated it so. I was really pumped for it because I was like, I get to try the Batmobile with my childhood dream, and I hated it. I didn't like it. I hated using the Batmobile. And I remember when I beat the game and I couldn't use any other skins, I was pissed. Like, I was getting really bored until they finally came out, I think with the Michael Keaton Batmobile, and I was like, thank God there's another Batmobile skin that I can use without the other one. And then they got these new skins, and I enjoy using the Tumblr skin, which is my most favorite Batman skin. Anywho, the Season of Infamy boss battles were much better, and the storyline itself is amazing. It's the reason why I bought the season pass. And another thing, season pass, people were complaining about how it's overpriced. To be honest, I didn't think it's overpriced, and I do have some more reasons for it. One, it is very expensive to make that DLC, especially with a lot of the DLC they made for free, and some of the stuff that they actually made that wasn't planned. For example, I know the Dark Knight skin wasn't planned. The the classic Harley Quinn suit and Arkham Knight skin weren't planned. And the Batman v no, the what else wasn't planned? The I think the Batman v Superman wasn't planned and either until the Warner Brothers came up to them and they told them to make the skin. So that wasn't planned, and a couple of the race. I think the Wayne Tech wasn't planned neither. They had to come up with it not last minute, but they had to come up with it like really quickly because Batman v Superman didn't have the movie hasn't came out yet, and they couldn't make the racetracks. Anyway, so I believe it wasn't overpriced. I mean, it is expensive to make the DLC. It does make money. Now, my graphic design teacher, he works for Call of Duty, the company Call of Duty, and I know their season pass is $50, and they only get 4 months worth of DLC, but it only includes a map, zombie map, a new gun, and it's usually I think all the 4 months. If I'm not a Call of Duty fan myself, but I do know it comes with a bunch of new maps, one zombie map, and a new weapon and some cameos. And those DLCs are very expensive to make. There's not just for free, you know. Like it probably cost Rocksteady around $800 to make a new skin, and we only paid $40. I think that was a deal. And plus the Arkham City DLC, all of it actually leads up to $40. Unless you bought the Game of the Year edition like I did. But it did all equal to $40, and they dropped a lot of DLC. So, that DLC was most likely expensive to make. It is not free to make a video game. Their budget is it's really tight. I think you only have, when you make a game, I think what I've learned so far is when you make a game, you have a certain amount of budget, and if you go over that budget, you have to start deleting some stuff from the game, if I'm correct, or you have to take a loan from your whatever major company. Like, say if I was making a Batman game and I ran out of money, I would have to go to Warner Brothers and ask for a loan, and give me. I forget how it goes. It goes something like that. But anyway, I do believe it wasn't overpriced. I believe it was just a perfect amount. Now when it first came out, I was one of those people who were afraid. Like, okay, no, that's expensive. Like, I'm buying a collector's edition, which is $100. On top of that, you want me to pay an extra $40 for 6 things. And at first, I thought it was just 160. It was just 6 other things. There's just like 6 DLC drops. But apparently not. Every month they released a good handful of DLC, and most of it was pretty cool. Now excluding the story packs, they were just short and fucking just dumb, except Catwoman's and Robin's. No, I think Catwoman's was really the only one I enjoyed, because that last boss fight was like it was a serious business. Season of Infamy was the best DLC. Rocksteady learned to fix their mistakes, and they realized, okay, we fucked up our story, we know that, so we gotta do a much better story, and they came up with the Season of Infamy, and that was one of the best DLCs I've ever played, and the ending to all 4 of them are perfect, just plain perfect. Killer Croc one, it's kind of iffy. I didn't really like it. But the order I would actually recommend playing the Season of Infamy is Killer Croc, because you get to play with Nightwing. And then you play the Mad Hatter one, because as soon as you put in Killer Croc, in the next room is Mad Hatter. And then you play the Ra's al Ghul one, and you play the Mr. Freeze. And Mr. Freeze has, I'm not going to spoil it, but Mr. Freeze has one of the most best DLC endings, and it gave me chills, just plain chills. So I would recommend playing it in that order. The order I played it in was Killer Croc, Mad Hatter, Mr. Freeze, and Ra's al Ghul, and I fucked up on Ra's al Ghul. I'm not gonna spoil that either, but I fucked up in that DLC. So yeah, that's basically Arkham Knight. It was a pretty decent game. The DLC did help it, kinda. I did do a top 5 ways Batman Arkham Knight can succeed, but it turned out pretty good. But some of the stuff I predicted didn't really work out. So let's get into the final and last question. was the Batman v Superman trailer did the Batman v Superman trailer show too much, and were the casting choices right? This is one I've been saving. Now, as you guys know, the Batman v Superman trailer, newest one that just came out, is controversial right now because people believe that it showed too much. I truly believe it didn't. I enjoyed the trailer. I really enjoyed the trailer. For example, I was in the Star Wars, when I was watching Star Wars actually, I was in the movie theater, and everyone stood up when Wonder Woman popped out, and everyone was cheering and clapping and excited, and I loved it. Everyone, like, minds were blown, and I enjoyed the trailer. That trailer gives me goosebumps every time I see it. Anyway, I truly really didn't show much. Now, as I said earlier, I believe showing Doomsday was the right thing to do for Warner Brothers. Now, I know you wouldn't have liked it if they, or it would have been okay if they had, like, leaked it, like, oh, we're getting Doomsday, guys, we're getting Doomsday. But showing it in a trailer, then people get mad. Come on, I just think, or what I think, people like to bash and nitpick DLC. Well, there's Marvel. Everyone thinks, oh, you gotta do it Marvel's way. Do it Marvel's way. No, DC is going to take it their way. I've said it already. They want to take their own route with this movie, and Batman v Superman is the frontier of their movie universe. And I'm being the one who's giving them a chance as a DC fan. I believe they are very confident. Zack Snyder was even confident about the trailer. Now, he did apologize to people who were upset about it, but I truly believe it was a fantastic trailer. The editing, the music, everything had fit in that trailer, and we don't even know half of the story yet. And I promise you, there is at least a lot of things that we have not seen in the movie. I guarantee you, there's a lot of things we haven't seen in the movie. I've actually did a video on it. I had to release it. I keep forgetting to edit it. I had a list of 20. I think I had like 20 things that haven't been spoiled yet, and we have yet to see in the movie. But overall, I believe they did the right thing showing that with Doomsday. They showed it, and even though I really would have wanted that experience in theater, I truly believe it was the right thing, because now I'm going to be excited, like, oh, Doomsday is coming, and I'm going to be excited in that theater, and when Doomsday comes out, I'm going to be pissing my pants, because it is the most, I don't know, it's amazing. When I saw Doomsday, I freaked out, and people do not like Doomsday's look. That's actually how he looks like. He evolves every time he dies. He evolves, and it basically, I think his final form is gonna become that actual Doomsday. But I do think, for one of my actual theories, is Darkseid is in the movie. If you go back to that trailer, you can see parademons. From what I think, they look like parademons, but I don't know if they are parademons. And apparently that's Darkseid. I knew, Darkseid has parademons because of the Justice League War movie, I think that's what it's called. But overall, I'm excited for this movie. It is my top anticipated 2016 DC movie. My most anticipated movie of the year for right now is Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is a movie I've been wanting to see for a while now. And I've known Doctor Strange ever since I first got into comics. I think he was one of the minor characters that I knew about, but I don't know why, I just fell in love with that character. But anyway, so let's get back to that topic here. I believe, they didn't show too much in the trailer. Yes, Doomsday may have been it can be a little debatable whether or not, but I truly believe that the trailer is phenomenal, and there are some things in the movie that they have yet to surprise you with. The casting choices I thought were excellent. I'm one of those people who hated the Ben Affleck one at first, because I thought he played Daredevil and he sucked in that role. It does not mean that an actor sucks in one role that it means he will do bad in another one. Let me give you an example. Christian Bale, for example. Or no, actually, Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger played the guy in Brokeback. Let me throw this pillow back there. Heath Ledger, God damn it. Heath Ledger played the gay cowboy, one of the gay cowboys in Brokeback Mountain with Jake Gyllenhaal. And people were like, Heath Ledger? You mean the gay guy off Brokeback Mountain? He is playing the Joker? And What do you know? Heath Ledger's Joker performance is one of the most memorable and iconic Joker performances on cinematic history. His performance was top notch, and I don't even think Jared Leto will top that. Um, I don't know. I think Jared Leto might not even get to top that. Heath Ledger's performance was my most favorite Joker performance, and I truly believe that is the best Joker we will ever see in this decade or century, most likely. But Heath Ledger's performance was phenomenal. Blew it out the park. He won a lot of Oscars, a lot of he was nominated for a lot of stuff, and his performance just blew it out of the water. And it was the most amazing thing we've ever seen in the movie, in a Batman movie, and everyone just loved it. They blew their mind. And then sadly Heath Ledger died, and I would have loved to see him in The Dark Knight Rises, but I did enjoy his performance, and it was one of the most coolest performances I've ever seen. And that was as an example of, one of the roles. Another one, Michael Keaton. Yes, Michael Keaton at one point was hated because everyone was like, the guy from Beetlejuice is playing Batman? That guy? And what do you know? He blows it out of the park. With Jack Nicholson too. Everything. I'm telling you, give these people a chance. People don't like Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor because of his hair. Yes, literally one reason someone hates Lex Luthor. I know this person. I'm not gonna name you, but I fucking hate you right now because of that. He hates Lex Luthor, and he believes he's not gonna be a good actor because of his hair. That is the most invalid excuse I have ever heard for why an actor will suck in a movie. I don't think even a professional critic has ever judged an actor by their hair. May I point out, Lex Luthor has had hair in the comics before. Yes, we all like him being bald. However, I truly believe this is a good way to start with DC movies. Even though he has hair, I believe he's going to be one of the best Lex Luthor actors we are ever going to see on screen. Now, the spastic, oh, Bruce Wayne, Clark meets Clark Kent. Oh, I love bringing people together. How are you? Oh, nice grip. You do not want to become like that person. I think that's funny, and I think that's good, and I think that's just I like that spin on that different spin on Lex Luthor. That is a Lex Luthor I want to see, but I believe that is a mask. It's just that persona is a mask, and when he's like in his room, just like looking out his window, I'm going to kill you, Superman. And it's going to be like he's going to talk smart like how he is in The Social Network. And I believe that's the Lex Luthor we're going to see like behind the doors. Like he doesn't want to see the public to see. And I think it's smart. I cannot wait. You even got to see a little bit like if man won't kill God, then the devil will do it. You'll see. I just give these actors a chance. I truly believe DC is doing it right. Another invalid excuse I want to point out is Wonder Woman or Gal Gadot is too skinny to play Wonder Woman. That makes it's thundering outside. That makes no fucking sense. You cannot judge an actor based on their physical appearance. That is dumb. Okay, unless you have a reason like, okay, she sucked in that movie, or her acting's not very good, or she doesn't do well with this actor. Don't say anything. Just don't say anything because you're stupid. Anyway, sorry, this gets me riled up. But yeah, but I believe Batman v Superman will be a very good movie, and we're all gonna be very grateful that this movie came out. Anyway, so let me know what you guys think about this. Hopefully, this file lets me save in the video format. If not, then I'm gonna have to go audio because sometimes it won't let me record over. It's already 3 gigabytes, but it won't let me record over 15 minutes, but it is 40 minutes right now. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this. Hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Start doing them live. The reason I didn't do it live because it's currently very late at night. If it was like early in the morning and I had some viewers, then okay, I would have done it. But anyway, let me know what you guys think about this. Hope you guys enjoyed. Next episode, podcast. Probably gonna do this monthly or every other week. I don't know. I barely had time to do this one. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think of the name. Personally, I do enjoy League. Let me know if you guys like the name League of Geeks. I think it's pretty cool name, named after the League of Shadows or League of Assassins, whichever one you want to go with. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe, you guys. This is the website, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.